Imagine being offered a choice that could save your family, but the price is your own happiness. Imagine walking into a marriage with a stranger, knowing nothing about the person waiting for you on the other side. No promises of love, no dreams of romance, only duty, only sacrifice, and the hope that somehow two broken people might find a way to heal each other. This is the emotional journey at the heart of Seeking Persephone 2026, a Regency romance that takes the familiar idea of a marriage of convenience and transforms it into a story about loneliness, forgiveness, and discovering the person hidden behind the walls we build around ourselves. Inspired by the best-selling novel by Sarah M. Eden, this independent period drama blends the elegance of Jane Austen, the emotional conflict of Beauty and the Beast, and the mysterious atmosphere of classic Gothic romance. But beneath the beautiful costumes and grand castles lies a much deeper question. Can two people who enter a marriage for survival ever find something real? The story introduces us to Persephone Lancaster, a young woman living in England during the early 1800s. At first glance, Persephone seems like someone living in a world of elegance and tradition. Beautiful gowns, grand estates, polite conversations. But behind the appearance of a refined society is a harsh reality. Persephone's family is struggling. After the loss of her mother, she is forced to grow up much faster than she should have. Instead of focusing on her own future, dreams, or happiness, Persephone becomes the person responsible for holding her family together. She carries the weight of everyone else's problems. Her younger siblings depend on her. Her father struggles to provide stability, and every decision she makes is based on one question: how can I protect the people I love? This makes Persephone different from many traditional romance heroines. She is not searching for a wealthy husband. She is not chasing a glamorous life. She simply wants her family to survive. And then an unexpected letter arrives, a letter that will completely change her destiny. The message comes from Adam Boyce, the Duke of Kielder, a powerful nobleman, a man with enormous wealth, and a reputation that keeps most people far away. The Duke makes an unusual offer. He wants to marry Persephone. But there is something strange about this proposal. The two have never met. There has been no courtship, no romantic connection, no secret moments where they discovered feelings for each other. It is simply a transaction. Adam needs a wife. Persephone's family needs financial security, and he offers a solution. For Persephone, this is not an easy decision. She understands the risks. She is agreeing to spend her life with someone she knows nothing about. But when she looks at her family's situation, she realizes she may not have another choice. So she makes the ultimate sacrifice. She chooses her family's future over her own dreams, and she accepts the proposal. But what happens next changes everything, because the man she is about to marry is nothing like she imagined. When Persephone finally meets Adam, the reality is far colder than she expected. Instead of a charming gentleman welcoming his bride, she encounters a distant and guarded man. Adam is intelligent, powerful, respected, but emotionally he is almost unreachable. He keeps people away. He avoids connection, and every word he speaks feels carefully controlled. To Persephone, it feels like she has traded one difficult situation for another. She expected uncertainty, but she did not expect loneliness. The wedding itself reflects the strange nature of their relationship. Instead of being a celebration filled with joy, it feels almost like a business agreement being completed. Adam appears uncomfortable with the entire situation, and Persephone begins to wonder if she has made the biggest mistake of her life. But there is something viewers quickly notice. Adam's coldness does not come from cruelty, it comes from pain. The Duke of Kielder is not the typical arrogant nobleman. His harsh personality hides years of insecurity and emotional wounds. Adam carries scars, both physical and emotional. Because of experiences from his childhood, he has spent much of his life believing that people only see his imperfections. He believes he is someone who must be tolerated, not loved. So instead of risking rejection, he chooses isolation. Instead of allowing people close, he pushes them away first. And this is where the story begins to reveal its true meaning. Seeking Persephone is not really about a woman changing a difficult man. It is about two people who have been hurt, learning how to trust again. Persephone believes her value comes from what she can sacrifice for others. Adam believes his value disappeared long ago. Both characters are trapped by painful beliefs about themselves, and their marriage forces them to confront those fears. After the wedding, Persephone enters Adam's world, a massive estate that reflects its owner perfectly. The castle is beautiful, but cold. Impressive, but lonely. It feels less like a home and more like a fortress. And just like the castle walls surrounding them, Adam has built emotional walls around his heart. But Persephone slowly begins to discover that there is more to this mysterious duke than his first impression suggests, and she is not the only person who notices. Adam's closest friend, Harry Windover, sees the truth behind Adam's behavior. Unlike the serious and withdrawn duke, Harry brings warmth and humor wherever he goes. He understands Adam better than anyone, And he knows that beneath all the anger and distance is a man who is simply afraid. But changing Adam will not be easy, because the hardest walls to break are not made of stone. They are built inside the heart. As Persephone begins her new life inside the Duke's castle, she discovers that her marriage may not be the prison she feared, but it may also be more complicated than she ever imagined, because behind Adam's calm behavior is a secret pain, and uncovering that truth will challenge everything Persephone believes about love, sacrifice, and happiness.
A marriage that begins without love, a husband who refuses to open his heart, and a woman who entered a castle expecting a cold arrangement, only to discover a mystery hidden behind the walls. Persephone Lancaster thought the hardest part would be leaving her family behind, but she soon realizes the real challenge is learning how to live with a man who has spent his entire life convincing himself that he doesn't deserve happiness. Because Adam Boyce, the Duke of Kielder, is not simply a difficult man. He is a man at war with himself. And the deeper Persephone looks, the more she discovers that the person everyone fears is actually the person who has been hurting the most. After arriving at the Duke's estate, Persephone quickly learns that wealth does not always mean comfort. The castle is enormous, the rooms are beautiful, the land surrounding it is breathtaking, but there is no warmth, no laughter, no sense of family. The place feels empty, almost like it is waiting for someone to bring it back to life. And this reflects Adam perfectly. From the outside, he has everything: a noble title, a fortune, a powerful position in society. But inside, he is completely alone. Persephone expected a difficult husband. What she didn't expect was a man who seemed determined to disappear inside his own sadness. Adam avoids conversations. He avoids emotional connections. And whenever Persephone tries to understand him, he creates more distance. It becomes clear that this marriage will not be transformed by a single romantic moment. There will be no instant connection, no sudden change of heart. Instead, their relationship begins with something much harder: understanding. What makes Persephone such a compelling character is that she is not naive. She understands that Adam is difficult. She understands that her situation is painful. But unlike others who have judged him, she does not immediately walk away. Why? Because Persephone has spent her entire life looking beyond appearances. She cared for her family when others might have given up. She sacrificed her own happiness for people she loved. And that same compassion slowly begins to affect Adam. At first, he does not understand why she is kind to him. He expects disappointment. He expects rejection. He expects her to eventually see him the way society does. But Persephone does something unexpected. She treats him like a human being. Not a damaged man, not a frightening duke, not someone defined by his scars. Just Adam. And that simple acceptance begins to weaken the walls he has built for years. As the story continues, viewers begin to understand why Adam behaves the way he does. His greatest battle is not with society. It is with himself. Adam has spent years believing that his scars make him unworthy. He has convinced himself that love is something meant for other people, not him. This belief controls every part of his life. Whenever someone gets close, he pushes them away. Whenever someone shows kindness, he questions their motives. Whenever happiness appears, he prepares himself to lose it. Adam has created a prison, but the prison is inside his own mind. And the tragedy is that he does not even realize he holds the key. One person who understands Adam better than anyone is his closest friend, Harry Windover. Harry serves as the complete opposite of the Duke. Where Adam sees problems, Harry sees possibilities. Where Adam expects rejection, Harry expects kindness. Their friendship adds an important balance to the story. Harry does not excuse Adam's behavior. He understands Adam's pain, but he also knows that pain cannot become an excuse to shut everyone out forever. Through Harry, the audience gets a glimpse of the man Adam could become if he stopped allowing fear to control him. Harry also helps Persephone understand something important. Adam's coldness is not because he doesn't care. It is because he cares too much and is terrified of being hurt. One of the most powerful aspects of Seeking Persephone is the slow development between Adam and Persephone. Their romance does not happen overnight. Instead, it grows through small moments. A conversation that lasts a little longer than expected. A moment where Adam chooses kindness instead of distance. A time when Persephone realizes there is a gentle side hidden beneath his harsh exterior. The smallest actions begin to carry the greatest meaning. Because when someone has spent years building walls, even the smallest opening feels like a miracle. Slowly, Adam begins changing. Not because Persephone forces him, not because she tries to fix him, but because her presence gives him a reason to want something different. For the first time in years, Adam begins imagining a life beyond loneliness. This is where the story's connection to Beauty and the Beast becomes clear. But Seeking Persephone gives the familiar idea a more realistic emotional foundation. Adam is not transformed by magic. There is no enchanted spell, no fairy tale solution. His transformation comes from something much harder: trust, healing, and allowing himself to be loved. Persephone is not simply changing a difficult man.
She is showing her that the version of himself he hates is not the version others see. And Adam, in return, begins teaching Persephone something important too. She has spent her entire life believing her purpose is to sacrifice herself for others, but perhaps she deserves happiness too. As days pass, the relationship between Adam and Persephone begins shifting. The tension between them slowly becomes curiosity. The silence becomes conversation. The distance becomes connection. But just when it seems like their unusual marriage might actually become something meaningful, the past begins to catch up with them. Because healing old wounds is never simple, and both Adam and Persephone still carry fears that could destroy the fragile trust they are beginning to build. Persephone must decide whether she can truly open her heart to a man who keeps hiding parts of himself, and Adam must face the one thing he has avoided his entire life, the possibility that he is worthy of love. The Duke and his wife are no longer complete strangers, but becoming a true couple will require more than kindness and patience, because the biggest battle is not outside the castle walls, it is inside their own hearts, and when tragedy forces them to confront their deepest fears, everything they have built together will be tested.
Just when it seems Adam and Persephone are beginning to understand each other, the story reminds us that healing is never a straight path. Old fears resurface, misunderstandings test their growing trust, and both characters must confront the emotional baggage they've carried for years. The film shifts its focus from romance to vulnerability, asking a simple but powerful question: can love survive when two people are still learning to love themselves? What makes these moments effective isn't dramatic spectacle, but emotional honesty. Instead of relying on shocking twists, the film builds tension through difficult conversations, quiet sacrifices, and personal growth. The performances also reach their strongest point here. Ryan Bailey portrays Persephone's quiet resilience with remarkable sincerity, while Jake Stormoen captures Adam's internal struggle without needing grand speeches. Their chemistry feels earned because every step forward comes after genuine emotional effort. And just when it seems everything may finally fall into place, the story delivers its most meaningful emotional payoff. Without revealing every detail, Seeking Persephone concludes with a hopeful message. Real love isn't about perfection. It's about acceptance, trust, and choosing one another despite imperfections. The film's biggest strength is that it transforms familiar Regency romance tropes into a story about emotional healing. The Beauty and the Beast inspiration is clear, but the real curse isn't physical appearance. It's the fear of rejection and the walls people build around themselves. For viewers looking for another Bridgerton, this may feel quieter and more restrained. But for fans of Jane Austen, gentle, slow-burn romance, and character-driven storytelling, that's exactly what makes it special. As an independent production, it's impressive how much emotion and atmosphere the filmmakers create with a modest budget. The beautiful locations, heartfelt performances, and thoughtful pacing have helped Seeking Persephone become an unexpected favorite among Regency romance fans. If you enjoy stories where emotional connection matters more than spectacle, this hidden gem is definitely worth adding to your watch list.